completely intoxicated on her own delusions of godhood, decided that the only punishment fit for those who tried to stop worshiping her was death. And how does this death come from? Oh, it was a combination of a lynching and blood sacrifice.
I think the cult brothers, when they were witnessing this, watching their hired help, believing in their own lie, it's like, yeah, I think we're going too far. I think we should just leave. You know what? We talked about, Warhammer. We talked about our share of Space King, and I swear we are not a Warhammer channel.
We're Warhammer nerds, but this is not a Warhammer channel.
That exactly, all right. And you were sharing this story this week, or technically when we published this episode, it would have been like how many weeks ago, whatever. But let me ask you, man, you were telling me about a vampire cult in Mexico, and I was like, Murphy, what is this? So it's like, can you give the audience a rundown of this true crime story for maybe the few girls who be interested in something like this? Because for some reason, so many love true crime podcasts.
All right. So in May of 1963, in rural Mexico in the north, in the state of Tamaulipas, not very far from the city of Monterrey.
Monterrey with mamacitas.
Monterrey, Mount of the King, basically. That's what it means. Not that far away from the city of Monterrey. Monterrey. So Monterrey, just for context, it's the largest city in the north. So there was this boy named Sebastian Guerrero. Was having a night walk in close to the foot of the mountains that were in the area. Until and those mountains have a lot of caves in it.
Okay.
So walking close by to one of these caves at night, he heard noises coming from one of the caves. So checking in, and some of those noises were not noises of happy people, but noises of screaming and ecstasy and yelling and, pleas for mercy, those sorts of things. So he took a peek into the cave and saw how several victims were being literally human sacrificed alive, old-fashioned way. And by old-fashioned way, I mean, cutting them open and taking out their hearts, Aztec style. Aztec style. Of course, you being a little boy and walking into that sort of thing will be very distressing, right?
Yeah.
So Sebastian literally bolts out of there and goes to talk to the police. So turning back the clock for a bit, turns out that on the last few months of 1962 in Tamaulipas, a couple of brothers called Santos and Cayetano Hernández, there were both of them a couple of con artists, arrived to were short of money, and they decided to start their biggest con yet. They will con people into giving them money out of their own free will. And what did they do to do this? Well, the Santos and Cayetano decided that the best idea to do this was to trick a rural community of illiterate people that lived in poverty into obeying them by forming part of a cult. So they literally
every good con artist.
Yeah, like every good con artist. Yeah. So they decided so they targeted the small rural community of Yerba Buena, Tamaulipas. In Yerba Buena, Yerba Buena was a small town. No, it wasn't even a town. It was a village, like not even barely 50 people in it, you know?
Okay.
Okay. So they arrived at the town and they proclaimed themselves prophets of the ancient Incan gods. Right. Incan gods. What do you mean Incan gods? We're in Mexico. Shouldn't
Yeah,
they be
guys.
Aztec gods? Yeah, well, apparently Santos and Cayetano were so ignorant that they basically said Incans, Aztecs, same thing really. And the people of the town were so ignorant too that they also bought it. Like they don't know what an Inca is.
And you
They
said
never heard about that, but
I was going
yeah,
to
like
say. Sorry, I was going to say, and you said this is like in northern Mexico, and it's like, but here's the thing: Aztecs would be in central, right?
yeah.
Because when you say northern, I imagine like isn't that the part where it's like the Breaking Bad references, where it's like hot and deserty?
Um, sort of. Part of the north is hot and deserty, and part of the north is temperate and mountainous. But
Okay,
yeah, basically. But that's where the deserts are,
right.
basically. Right. So yeah, so the community they were conning also was very ignorant and just and didn't make the connection about wait the Aztec god the Inca gods are from Peru. Like why would they be prophet of the Incan gods in Mexico? Right?
Mm-hmm.
They just pretty much took it as Aztec Incas, same thing really.
Yeah.
Basically, they told them that the Incan gods were planning their return after their great exile and will punish non believers and will reward the devout by giving them treasures that were hidden in the mountains, in the caves in the mountains, in exchange for their worship and obedience. All right? And surprisingly, the people bought this that the two strangers were selling them, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, for the most part, things went all right. The people gave them what little they gave Santos and Cayetano what little they had, um, paying them tribute and also sexual tribute.
Ooh my.
Yeah, no, not umai. And by sexual tribute, I mean both women and men. And
What
well, this
the
isn't. Yeah,
fuck?
yeah,
Very progressive
um,
Inuit gods.
yeah. Uh, Santos and Cayetano would, buy drugs with whatever the money they got, and they share it among their faithful that were made docile by the drugs. They would participate in, in orgies and all that stuff. All degenerate stuff, all really hedonistic stuff, like a Slanesh cult, basically.
Yeah.
Right? When someone tried to
Oh,
protest about this, about
holy shit!
sorry.
This could be like the best feathered serpent reference ever. No, I mean, the feathered serpent could be a title for a Slaneshi god or a Slaneshi demon, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, it could, right? Yeah. Well, when someone protested, they would normally just drug him to make them docile and and compliant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, if someone refused to have sex with them, they would explain that the only way to keep their body pure and clean for the gods is to that they would give their bodies to their prophets and holy men.
Very convenient.
All right. So time passed. So time passed, and the villagers started to realize that they had the fortune that was promised to them, but had not arrived, nor the gods had come back or anything. So the Hernandez brothers chose to fix this by getting help from well, I don't remember if hold on. They decided to get help from a girl, a local girl, well, semi-local girl, from a semi-local girl called Magdalena for her to be their priestess. Magdalena came from a poor family. She came from a broken home. And while it is not confirmed, it is very possible that she had to prostitute herself from a young age, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would make her dance naked in a ritualistic fashion, and that would, calm things down for a bit, but that didn't happen. That's where the things would get interesting. So, like I said, they went to Monterrey to look for prostitutes to help them with their con. That's where they found Magdalena Solís, the girl I just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Came from a broken home, probably a prostitute, hard childhood. Okay. So what they did with Magdalena is that they basically bought her into the con. They brought her into the scheme, and she agreed. The brothers, in a elaborate theatrical ritual, they presented Magdalena as a reincarnation of the mother goddess Coatlicue,
I just said
which
they were Inuits.
is the one that's not an Incan goddess, but just roll with it, right?
Yeah.
They did this in a cave with smoke and mirrors in a very theatrical way. Magdalena, now dressed to look like a goddess, promised that the things would change for the town, and that's exactly what would happen. But here's the thing: the moment Magdalena, which basically had known hardship all her life, had been forced to work as a prostitute, came from a poor home family, the moment that she saw people worshiping her, she bought into her own lie. She generally started to believe that she was a reincarnated goddess.
Uh-oh.
So, Magdalena, demanded sexual tribute as well with men and women. Every hour, all hour, she organized orgies.
This is less of a vampire cult and more like a Slaneshi cult.
Hold on. Oh, by the way, the sexual tribute, they were younger each time.
Oh,
yes,
fuck. This isn't fun anymore. This
isn't fun anymore.
This is bad. This is really bad.
And this is when things started going too far. A couple of young men from the community that were sick of the sexual abuses tried to leave. They were caught and they were brought before Magdalena, who was completely high and completely intoxicated on her own delusions of godhood, decided that the only punishment fit for those who tried to stop worshiping her was death. And how does this death come from? Oh, it was a combination of a lynching and blood sacrifice.
I think the cult brothers, when they were witnessing this, watching their hired help, believing in their own lie, it's like, yeah, I think we're going too far. I think we should just leave.
So yeah,
I imagine that scenario where it's like, yeah, I think we're going too far.
Yeah. So yeah, Magdalena basically took control of the cult.
Oh no.
Cult quotation mark. And so now violence ramped up, and during the next 6 weeks, the treatment of the inhabitants of the village became more violent. Now they demanded the sacrifices and blood and pain. So they took the weakest ones of the community and they would torment them, torture them, beat them, burn them, and they would force others to bleed themselves to feed the goddess in the way that the Aztecs did. Of course, the use of drugs and, orgies would continue. In this short period, at least 6 people got their hearts ripped out in the cave that served as the place of worship.
Man.
And it was around that time that, Sebastian, the boy, would run into the cult, and he went to the police and would exclaim that, he saw a group of vampires sacrificing and feasting on the blood of neighbors. Of course, the police laughed at them, but since one of the cops saw that he was being serious, he led them to the place. The boy led them to the place, and they would get caught by the cult, and both the cop and the boy would get their harps ripped out.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So eventually, while looking for the boy and the cop on the last week of May of 1963, they took the warning seriously, and then the police. No, actually, they called the army because they didn't have enough men. They
called the army.
Police. They called the army because it was such a small community that there were not more than. I don't think there were more than 5 or 10 cops.
Okay, I can understand that.
Yeah. Okay. So they conducted a raid on the town in which there was a complete shootout. So they didn't just walk up to them and arrest them. No, they shot back at the cops. So there was a gun battle in which both the brothers Santos and Cayetano were both, both of them died, and most of the cult members died in the shootout. Magdalena managed to escape from the gun battle, but they were essentially just captured and sentenced to. I don't remember how much time in prison. I think 50 years in prison. 50 years in prison, and she died in prison, basically.
Do you think the brothers during this whole time watching their priestess becoming, high on their own beliefs, where it's like, yeah, maybe we're going too far? Do they not think one moment, yeah, maybe we should just go?
If they did, there's no record of them talking about it. I would imagine that, one of them at some point probably said, maybe this is getting out of control, but none of them left. None of them stopped the farce, and they died defending themselves from the police. So, this makes me think. This makes me think of the South Park episode in which this high member of Scientology convinces Stan he's like a prophet, and Stan believes he's a prophet, and the guy's like, "Wait, you don't actually believe in this crap, do you?" Yeah,
it's literally something like that, isn't it? Where it's like, wait, do you actually believe in this?
Yeah. You know what her nickname on prison was?
What?
La gran sacerdotisa de la sangre, meaning the great priestess of blood.
Murphy, it's like, this could be a Netflix miniseries, couldn't it? Because they just did one.
It could be a Netflix miniseries, yeah.
They just did
because
one.
Because it's like so surreal.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the satanic panic stuff that people imagine actually happening.
Yeah, this literally did happen. And it's like, they just did one on Ed Gein. And people are like, yeah, this guy was nuts. So I imagine it's like, this could literally be another part of the whole Monster series of like killers, where it's like, yeah, do one on Monster, this weird vampire orgy cult thing. I can't say the woman's name. What's her name?
Magdalena. Magdalene.
Like Mary like Magdalene. Okay.
Yeah.
Monster Magdalena.
Yes.
That's not. I probably butcher it so much, but whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, Murphy, to believe that you're the incarnation of Quatique. Thank you. Did he wear snake skirts?
I don't know. I don't know what she was wearing, but, she was blood drinking and heart ripping. So
what? He's like copper. Imagine being disgusting. But it's like, oh my goodness, this is nuts.
Yeah, it's nuts. I told you. And since we're in spooky month now.
Yes, this is literally fitting. Yeah. This is our one Halloween episode, guys. It's like satanic panic. Well, here's an actual satanic cult that's one part Slaanesh, one part vampire.
Yeah, Base.
One part Aztec, one part vampire, one part Slaanesh.
Yeah, basically.
This could almost be like a creepypasta, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Honestly, yes, because it baffles belief. It's one of those stories that you're like, come on, that doesn't actually happen. No, it did.
but imagine this. It's like, imagine The Boy if this was like rewritten to be like a miniseries somehow, where there's this boy, he hears about this cult, and maybe the community hears about this cult that goes on in mountains, and they believe this girl is a priestess of Coatlicue, but when they the reality is, no, these people were just nuts.
Yeah, these people were just nuts.
Yeah.
You know what it would be good for? Like a one-shot role-playing game of Call of Cthulhu. Like
Really?
This is all a con, but they the rituals that they started doing accidentally work. So there's now actual supernatural things in it,
Oh, actually, that could be really good. Like, imagine if the priestess who wasn't actually like reincarnated of Coatlicue, like she was just, like you said, she was just a prostitute who had nothing good going on with her life. Nothing went right in her life. But when these con men convinced her into joining, their con thing, and when she starts believing in it, that's when things actually start going wrong, where it's like, actually Coatlicue is working through her because people were starting to believe in this. And that's when the boys were, the conners were like, okay, I think we did something really, really bad here.
Yeah, basically. And that's the story of the sect of the Hernandez brothers, or the sect of Magdalena Solís, the Great Blood Priestess. So, magic Mexico, basically. Like this shit only happens here.
With so many stories from America, like Ed Gein and Dahmer and that clown guy who killed people, we have all these stories of people who went nuts. And you see, there's so many specials on like Dahmer, and you see like comic books on Ed Gein. The fact that there hasn't really been something about like this cult from Mexico, it's like, how come there's like no comic book or Netflix special on this? Not that I'm just saying it's like, maybe unintentionally we glorify stories like these and we make these people into celebrities, but it's like at the same time too, it kind of shows how nuts humans can become.
Yeah, truth is really stranger than fiction.
Yeah, it's like with so many stories of like, oh, people can't actually do this in real life, or we're more enlightened now, or people can't sacrifice other human beings to a god that they think exists. And it's like, well, no, we can end up like this because these people exist.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I told you this story would baffle belief.
It's like, it is so unheard of, where it's like, this does sound like something evangelical could write as a spooky warning for like when Halloween approaches. Like, don't celebrate Halloween, or else your kids will be kidnapped by a Mexican lady and she'll believe she's like Coatlicue.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like I told you, it baffles belief, but yeah.
I wonder if it was like such a reality collapse on the girl though, when it's just like, oh wait, I'm not an actual goddess.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, apparently, when they ran, they found them hiding on a farm, high of their mind. So who knows, really?
Was it cocaine or shrooms?
I think it was weed.
Oh, it's all the devil's plant, of course. But I'm just saying, taking out.
So like I don't know what to segue. How to segue to anything else. Like,
I don't think we really can. But it's like, Netflix, do a special on this already.
Yeah. I'm actually, like you said, I'm kind of actually shocked that this story is so obscure. Like, there aren't movies or series about them when they're kind of like perfect for it.
Almost like it could be one on AMC. No, not AMC. HBO, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
anyways, I think you could say this is Happy Halloween. Has been our Halloween special for the year, and it's like, I guess the moral of the story is be careful who you con, because eventually your people you're conning could really believe
will turn into vampires.
Yeah, they could really believe in your con, and that can lead you to death.
Yeah, pretty much. Be careful who you bring into your cons, people.
Yeah, because they can really believe in it. But anyways, yeah, I think this concludes our episode of Pint Cellar. I have a lot of fun doing this episode. It was fun to do another improv episode like this, and yep, hopefully we can do more in the future. And thank you so much for joining me this week, Hubrecht.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure, brother. Whenever you want.
Yeah, thank you so much. And anyways, happy Halloween, everyone. Depending on if this part of the episode comes out before or after Halloween, doesn't matter though. Happy Halloween, not happy Merry Christmas, because we're still in October. But yeah, anyways, have a good time.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Happy All Hallows Eve. Happy All Day of the Dead. Whatnot. See you all again next time, everyone.